Okay, here we go. Another case study. So, how we partnered with an e-com coaching business to add over 10 million in new profits. I'm going to give you a quick snapshot of JR. So, I can only give you JR's initials because we signed an NDA on this deal, so do not disclose. So, a high-ticket coaching business that teaches entrepreneurs how to run profitable e-commerce stores. JR had this incredibly inefficient, sort of spastic, sporadic client acquisition system. 1 month was up, next month was down, and it really prevented him from scaling past the high seven figures. So at the end of the day, the way this story ends is he's still currently a client. And so far in that 33-month partnership, we've generated over $10.1 million in new net profit for him. So here's where he started. He had a really strong front end offer. He had a webinar that converted. He had a challenge that converted. But the problem was his sporadic systems. Everything past the initial ad click was inconsistent. There was no reliable automated system for him to be able to nurture leads and maximize conversions from his webinar and challenge funnels. And there was some mistakes in the front end that needed to be cleaned up as well. He also, his biggest underutilized asset in this case was the lever that needed to be pulled was his email problem. So his email system was so severely underutilized, serving only as a basic reminder tool in the automations and leaving millions of potential revenue on the table. So part of that was his email open rates were stuck below 45%. And so that creates a very hard ceiling on his ability to engage with and convert the massive volume of leads that he was generating. So for every 100 leads that he generates, if he's only opening at 35% or 45%, that means more than half of the leads that he's generating are pointless. Like it's literally money flushed down the toilet. So making sure those open rates are big all the time is a really big deal and a very easy lever to pull as far as increasing revenue without actually having to increase ad spend. So the impact here is this lack of a systemic backend meant that his client acquisition process was inefficient and not converting at the level required for exponential scale. So here's how we solved it. We architected the entire full funnel turnaround. So our approach was to take a holistic view of his entire client acquisition machine, ensuring that every dollar of his ad spend was maximized from click to close. Now, he had some departments in place for his team that they actually were doing a good job. And so we did not take over those roles. We just provided input as far as how those roles got executed. And we took over the highest leverage lever, which in his case was the email. So the diagnostic triage, we immediately diagnosed the root cause of his low engagement, uncovering the technical issues that were crippling his reach. 2, we deployed our proprietary process to systematically repair and optimize his sending infrastructure, ensuring his message was actually being seen by as many people as possible. The client conversion system, with the leaks patched, we installed our proprietary client conversion system. This system drove highly qualified traffic to his webinars and challenges. It automated the complex sequences needed to maximize attendance and turn both fresh leads and unconverted prospects into high-ticket clients. And then lastly, strategic partnership. We worked in lockstep with his media buying team, providing strategic insights to ensure their front-end ad strategy was perfectly aligned with our new high-performance back-end systems. So the transformation, the result. The total company revenue exploded from 9 million to 21 million. The total company profit went from 748K to over $7 million. And the ad spend scale went from 3.4 million to over 6 million, a huge transformation in a relatively short period of time. In the first 120 days alone, we generated 1.5 million in new net profit. And across the 33-month partnership, our systems have averaged 306K in new net added profit every single month, totaling 10.1 million to date. The two big metrics that run behind all the dollar generation are improving his ROAS by 78%, going from 1.2 to 2.17, and improving his email open rates where they're averaging at 49% open. This is critical. If you generate 100 leads and only 30 of them open, 35 of them open, 40 open, that means that somewhere between 60 and 70 of those leads were completely wasted. Dollars just flushed down the toilet. So you want to make sure that your open rates are as high as they possibly can. This is a very, very common lever that is often not pulled correctly. And it's a big leak that is relatively easy to fill. So there you have it. That's JR.